Okay, so we want to give us a little more room to work with the headlights, so we'll remove it. It's very simple to do. You just pull up on these tabs here until they come out. 2 of them. And then the headlight can slide right out. You can then pretty much just twist out the housing back here or unplug it, whichever you prefer, and do the same for the turn signal. Okay, so for the headlight, once again, I just twisted this and pulled it out, and then I just unplugged the one here. Now there are 2 tabs on here, and a lot of them break. This one was already broken, so you just lift up on the tabs on both sides and then slide it out. So next you want to pull the wheel liner, and so you'll remove the cross point screw here and the cross point screw here. It's on the back side of the fender, and then you basically just push the whole wheel liner out that way. Then from underneath there's a push pin that you'll pull down as well that's attached to this side skirt. So this is shown on the driver's side, but underneath the side skirt, this is where you'll find those 2 pull tabs. You can just put a pair of needle nose tweezers underneath them and pop them out. Next, from inside the bumper, you'll find 2 11mm nuts here. So break both of these loose. One there and one here. Next, using an 8mm socket, remove these 2 bolts here in the front. With the 2 tabs from below removed, you can pull the side skirt down, and then you can see it has kind of a little scissors type mechanism here that pinches as it goes in. So just pinch those from underneath and just try to get them pushed together, and then this would slide right out. Okay, now you have 2 more 8mm bolts right here holding the fender on. And be careful of these, sometimes they rust and break. So if you want to spray some of the liquid wrench on there or some lubricant, that's a good idea. Now come along and get all of the 8mm bolts that you can find here in the fender and release those. So next, open the door, and there's 2 8mm bolts in here that you'll have to get off. So there's one, and the other is right there. For this, a 8mm wrench really comes in handy. Next, pry up with a screwdriver on the antenna, and then you can remove this housing with these 2 cross point bolts. Next, gently pull apart here on this housing, and this piece will release from this housing. Now the whole panel can be lifted away from the car. Okay, so I have the extra door here to show you what this is going to look like. So it's going to have 2 connectors. This is what they look like. From inside the car on the passenger side, drop the glove box down, and then you're going to push on this side and on this side at the same time, which will allow you to drop the glove box all the way down. Okay, so those 2 electrical connections are found right up in here. And it's kind of hard to see it. You almost have to feel it. But there they are. Okay, so once again, these are the 2 harnesses. One, you'll just put your thumb down in the middle and pull this down. This one will have a little thing that you're pushing up on, and then as you push it up, then you can pull that plug out. After that, you can just run both of these and just pull them right through this hole inside. Next, you'll want to support the door, and maybe having it closed can even work for this. But you're going to come in here and take off these 13mm bolts on the hinges, just the ones that go into the door. So there's just 4 of them. Then you'll be able to lift the door away from the car. Now, if you hang a new door and you notice when you open it, it opens and drops down and then it hits and then closes, you can shim it. We fixed that. It closes good now. And so there's a few ways to fix that. There's actual shims that you can put behind the door. In our case, we just took a few washers and put them behind the hinge where it attaches to the door. So against the door, between the door and between the hinge is where we put some washers. So we put them on the bottom, and that pushed that door upward this way, and so now it closes just fine. Okay, so now it comes time to run this back up underneath the dashboard through the glove box, and it'll help because this connection is kind of fixed to the car, so it can only really go in that way with the flat side on the back, and you can feel that notch channel. This one's a little more difficult, and the best thing that you can do is put your finger and feel this part where it rises up here, and then when you're feeling that plug up in there, feel for the tab that you lifted up on, and that's how you know it will go in. So went right in.